Okay, well, Roughhouse Gaming was one of the first people to pledge on Patreon to me, which I always appreciate, and he's now hit a £50 milestone. So yeah, he sent me an image of how he would like his ship to look, so here we go. Okay, now I've got my print file into my printer. I'm just going to select Patreon Year 1, Roughhouse, and there's his little fighter that he wishes me to create, so let's hit that, and let's hit Build a Mondo. There we go. So I'm going to copy the file over. As you can see there, I've got a little bit of excess coming out of the head, so I'm just going to snip that off before it causes a problem. I may have to do that again before it actually touches the bed. So yeah, now it's going to get up to temperature. So the actual bed has got to reach 50, whereas the nozzle has got to reach 205. So it takes a little while. So yeah, I'm just going to pause it there. Okay, right, well it's reached temperature, so it should start any second now. Now what I usually do is get ready with my snippety snips and just go in at the end of the cone and snip off any sort of excess that might be coming out. However, I have made it so it's going to print an extruder wall first, so it should get rid of any of the excess that I didn't manage to snip off. But the first layer is the most crucial. There you go, it's just laying down. Oh, you see it's got a piece there that's not quite right. That's what I mean. That's what I've got to try and get rid of before it causes a problem. Let's get rid of that. So that's my pre-extruder wall, and it completely stuffed that up. But I've set the actual first print layer to print at about 5 milliseconds per second, and it is actually just printing the supports. And it looks like it's okay. I think I managed to save that, but sometimes you have to actually start all over again. Now the first layer is the most crucial, and the one that you've really got to watch for any sort of errors or hazards or imperfections. Okay, I'm going to shut the door now, let it keep its temperature nice and high, and hopefully we're going to come back to a printed 3D ship. You may have noticed from this little model at the back there, I've actually slotted in a couple of knowledge stones and also a crystal formation. So hopefully it's all going to come out okay. 2 hours and 19 minutes and we'll know. Okay, right, well we're halfway through the build and here we are. It's printing out quite nicely. As you can see, I'm using the white filament. It's actually translucent as it's listed, but it comes out frosted. And it's looking pretty damn awesome at the moment. So yeah, halfway there. Hey chums, well the build job is completed. Awesome. And here it is here. And it's looking really cool. I am going to have to glue that centerpiece into place. But yeah, that's looking awesome. Yep, I think I can do a decent paint job on that. And there we are. That's the print model. I just need to sand a few little bits down, but it's looking good. It's looking a little like the ship that Roughhouse sent over in the photo. So there we go. Next is painting. Okay, so here we are in the garage, and I'm about to put a base coat on the ship, the knowledge stone and the crystal. And this over here is a little bit of foam that I've cut off the back of a reptile background for a tank that once broke. So yeah, that's going to work out really well as a nice piece of landscape, but I do need to prime that too. So I've spaced the objects out a bit, mainly because the ship itself, the main colour of the ship is white. So I'm going to spray paint it a base coat of a pearly white and hopefully get a metallic feel. The actual knowledge stone, I'm going to spray that silver, whereas this, I may not even prime it. I might just put a red on it and hopefully it will go a reddish sort of colour. I'm not sure about that yet. And this is going to be primed a brown. Okay, right, so that's pearly white. That's the silver. I'm going to leave that blank, and I'm just going to put a reddish sort of wash over the top of it. And that I've done brown with some green. The green came out a bit brighter than I would have liked, but yeah, I can dull that down. That's going to look quite cool when it's done. Okay, so that's step one. I've got to wait for that to dry now. Okay, right, well I'm back in my house and up on my work desk, and I've painted the crystals red. Now, you can see the red hasn't taken too well. That's because I didn't put any primer on, but that's kind of the look I wanted, so it looks more crystally. And then I've added a little bit of red highlights to wherever it needs to be on the ship. It doesn't have to be too tidy at this stage. And I've added some red to the actual knowledge stone as well. And the landscape is there as well, looking great. Okay, right, so that's stage one. And then all I've done is added a little bit of silver to it, a little bit of blue to pick up a bit of detailing. And now I'm going to be applying like a black wash. Okay, now the black wash has been applied. That's starting to look a little bit more metallic. A little bit more ship-like. Okay, and now I think I'm about done, so let's just give that a little bit of a rotate. As you can see, I've added some little yellow highlights for lights and things, roughly where Roughhouse Gaming's lights should be. Added some decals to the sides, just like on his ship, And yeah, done the engines as well. And yeah, I think that looks about good. I think that's about there. Okay, well next off, we've got a green tree, which is fine because there's a green tree in his biome, but there needs to be a purple tree, and all I've got is an orange one, so I'm going to try and make it go purple. Here we go. Right, with the ship done, I can move on to the landscape. We've got one of the trees looking a bit purpley. It's not as purpley as I'd like. However, I might be able to use some of this foliage on the ground and things to bring the purple accents into the actual landscape. So that's what I'm doing next, is working on the landscape. Okay, and here we go. This is the actual full enclosure, all done for Ruff House. And I'll be posting that out to him. The crystals have come out really well. I'm loving the little patches of purple grass that I've added. It looks fantastic. It really does look something special. So there we are, Ruff House. That's your custom build. And that's going to be coming to you in the very near future. I'll be posting that probably mid next week. Just got to package it all up, make sure it's nice and safe. And yeah, all done. Just stuck it in my display cabinet next to my one that I've got over here. And oh wow, they do look cool. The two different biomes right next to each other like that. I'm loving this. This is such a cool little hobby. Yeah, awesome. There you go. I like how it looks all sort of stone effect under there as well. It's really, really cool. Yeah, so that's going to a Ruff House Gaming. Thank you very much for supporting me on Patreon, buddy. You was one of my first Patreons to support me. You've hit £50 in your subs, or your Patreons, or pledges, whatever you want to call them. And that's the point where I'm going to start making these for the other people that have been giving me pledges for ship models and supporting my 3D printer tier. And yes, I'd like to say a massive great big thank you to all my Patreons and everybody that watches, subscribes and likes on my videos or hits a comment. Thank you very much. Take care. Goodbye for now.